Okay, so I'm going to start getting the aluminum panels in here. Started off with these two pieces. Kind of easy to line those up because they fit pretty good right up against the frame. It's kind of obvious where they want to be. And then I got this one up here. You know, these two pieces will meet. And you got to make sure there's the right gap for the bulb seal up here. These pieces should be fine. And that one right there goes up in here. And I will have to trim that edge that goes up against the body to get that to fit in there good. And I'll probably have to stop and put a couple little tabs in here on the body for the edge of that to go up against. So that'll help kind of tie that in also. And same thing with that one back there. Get it trimmed up against the body. And put some tabs back there. You know, up here. Make sure that thing's in there solid. And then I'm trying to sort out the rest of the pieces. I want to find out which pieces I can keep aluminum, which pieces I want to put some coating over, which pieces may get some paint on them, you know, who knows. So I'm kind of lining it out. When you get all these pieces in the mail, you're thinking, man, where do they go? And there's not a diagram that shows an explosion of, you know, where all those pieces go. It'd be kind of nice if there was a piece of paper that showed an exploded view of where all those parts went, but it don't matter. You figure it out. They only go in one spot. And you start putting some on, and pretty soon the rest of it starts making sense. I think that little piece goes right there somewhere. I'll have to get this tank cover in the right spot. This piece sits right here, I believe. And there's a kit right here which has a couple of brackets, and evidently it bolts in back here somewhere. So I'll get that figured out. And this little piece, it goes down underneath here. So I'll have to trim that to fit, put some bulb seal on that, get that sealed off. And I won't rivet any of that stuff. I like using these self-tapping screws. You just ram a couple of those in there, then you can put your coating on or whatever, and then drill the rest of them after the coating's on. And it's just an 1/8 inch hole, so an 1/8 inch rivet still goes in there after you take that screw out, so it's no big deal. You can buy the Clecos, you know, they just take the place of that screw and holds an 1/8 inch or whatever size hole you want. You get the right size. Anyways, I've always used the screws. I've never had those Clecos, so I'm gonna get this stuff set on there. I'm getting caught up on some of the small stuff. These are the little brackets that I glassed in there for the splash shields. And I put a couple on each side. Just getting some of the little things wrapped up. And as soon as that cures, I'll bolt those back in place. Then up front, I'm fine-tuning some of the sheet metal up here. I'm going to put the bulb seal on. Got this hacked up. I'll grind that down smooth. And still haven't figured out a piece right here yet, but I got to get that done. So getting close. Like I said before, it's starting to get hard to figure out things to do, so it's getting close. Now I'm getting the aluminum on the inside done. Got this side tied in there where I want it. It's going to finish that off pretty good. You know, when it comes time to really do it, I'll fine-tune anything I need to. Now this side, as I was putting this panel up here, the striker plate really pokes out, keeps that panel from going up flush like it should be. There's always been something weird with this side. Right from the very start, I had to cut some of that off to let the body shift over a bit. So I don't know what's up with that, but it's in the way. So I'm going to have to cut that down, pound that in, and re-weld it. And then of course once the body's off, I'll trim that up and make it look pretty. But so I got to cut that off, get that thing where it sits in there flush. I got all the inside done, and I got this piece trimmed out so it sits in there a whole bunch better. And I marked it where I want to trim that down, and I'll probably have to add some metal in here to close that off further. Other than that, you know, the sheet metal part looks pretty good. Got the screen in there on both sides. And so yeah, looks pretty good. I'm on the other side, I'm extending this in there, just showing too much gap in there, so I'm going to extend that down in there some. I think it'll look better. And I'm trying to always think of what I need to do next. Thinking the hood's pretty much covered. Never have liked this gap right here compared to the other side. So before it's all said and done, I might fix that as I'm fine-tuning the door. I still got to fix a couple gaps inside when I open the door. And a few little things to fix when I take the window out and the mirror off before it's ready for primer.